Let's get into some Dear Denny. First question, why are driver contracts earnings less visible to fans versus other major sports?
Well, I think that a lot of that reason is because we have no salary cap, so it doesn't have to be public information. Other sports, it's publicized. This wide receiver got a 4-year, $120 million contract, whatever it might be. A lot of that is because it's public information because they have to monitor what the teams spend. They, around NASCAR, they always keep the money a little more secretive. They stopped posting what our winnings were. I think Bob Pockris each week posts like with the charter and historical money and blah, 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 blah. The purse for this weekend is blank, right? But it's not really broken down. So I'm not sure. We'll have to ask NASCAR really why the money is hidden so much. I know that people used to really like seeing what their drivers made on any given weekend. I think when they started changing where they put the money, it used to all be in the race purse. And then 5-6 years ago, when the charters came around, they started putting it in different buckets. The teams were like, hey, we need more guaranteed revenue. So they said, okay, each team that has a charter will get X amount. And then however you have finished in the point standings for the last 3 years, that's a fund as well. So first to 36th, and obviously first gets, a bigger share of the pie. So that's what we're essentially racing for. And then we have our actual race purse, which we make on a weekly basis. That is, of course, ranked as well from first to 36th. But the difference is we talk about this all the time with our 2311 team is like, if we go spend like a few more $1 million to go run 10 spots better, the return's not there. Like there's not enough discrepancy between, going to and being the top versus being mediocre or being towards the back. Like the line is not very vertical, right? Vertical. Yeah. It's more horizontal. So it just, I think that's something that, the teams will talk about in the next negotiations of like, how can you entice some of these bottom teams to spend more money to be competitive, right? Because right now, some of the really the most profitable teams are at the very back of the field. Because, they spend what it takes to put their car on the racetrack every week. And sometimes that's all they're trying to do is get to the racetrack. And I'm not saying they're doing it to just go collect the check, but they're looking at the business model saying, well, it doesn't make sense to spend more money to go faster because if I gain 1 or 2 spots in the standings, it's not worth what I have to spend to get there.
Yeah. So they're playing with what they're given.
Yep.
With the rise of sim racing, what are your thoughts on these types of drivers entering the sport in some capacity?
Like sim drivers, like iRacing?
Correct. Yep. Like your eNASCAR Coca-Cola series.
Yeah. I listen, I've worked with Keegan Leahy, our iRacing Pro Series driver for 2311 for a couple of years now. And we just recently hired him at our team to work with us. And I know that him and Tyler worked together quite a bit in preparation for COTA. I was actually there and I was surprised. I walked into the sim and I'm like, oh, hey, Keegan, what's up? What you doing here? He's like, well, I'm moving here in a month. He's from Canada, so they're working on the visa there. But I think that it's very important. Those guys have a great skill set in the world of simulation that we live in nowadays. Those guys have a skill set that can be an asset to race teams. And I know that I worked with them on road courses quite a bit, COTA being one of them. Now, again, I'm probably not a great case study because I haven't taken the big jump that I need to, but I know I worked with him at the Daytona road course, and I led early on in the Daytona road course because of the preparation that I put in with him in the team. So I think that it's a very, very valuable tool for sure. And, I think you look at, one of the, you're seeing a lot of the pro drivers or former pro drivers. I think I just saw Vincent Cialis or something like that, Salas, win at Hickory on a green-white checkered. So a lot of these guys are starting to get into real racing now and actually having pretty good success. William Byron came from iRacing. I mean, that's where he got his start in race for the first time. Honeycutt in the Truck Series, I believe he is a pro racing driver as well online, and he's now in the Truck Series. So they're starting to get opportunities, which is very cool to see.
For the hardcore Denny Hamlin fans, you'll remember Keegan Leahy was Denny's crew chief during the glory days of your televised sim racing a few years back.
I know
on our Twitch streams.
I know it's funny because that's like you driving and me being your spotter during a pro rider race, right? He's probably like, man, this guy's such a clown. He has no idea what he's doing. He's terrible. But yeah, those guys, they just have a specific skill set. They've been running thousands of laps on iRacing for so long that, when we try to do it, we're less competitive. We're definitely less fast than what they are. So, I think that you'll see in the future that, these guys are going to have positions or be assets to some of these teams.
Did you tell Brad to lock the porta-potty next time?
Yeah, that was just a bad move on his part. I'm not going to talk about what I saw. But it was very interesting to see him with his helmet on in fire suit. Yeah, he was in a rush. I felt the same thing he did, by the way. I had to use the bathroom really, really bad. I had to pee extremely bad. And so for the first time, I really don't use the bathroom that much before I know that I need to pee before the race because I know as much fluids as I'm going to take in throughout the race, it gives me a stomach ache at the end because I'm holding it in. And I tried to let it go at Atlanta. And I've never peed or done anything in my suit in my 18-year career. Never. Hand to God on that. Never done it. But I was so uncomfortable at the end of Atlanta that I wanted to let it go. And I tried to relax. I'm like, just let it go. And I couldn't do it. The stage fright or whatever it was, just not wanting to make a mess in my suit and then in my seat. I'm just like, I can't do it. There's only one more caution, hopefully, and we're going to get this thing over. So I jumped out of the car, and Brad must have hauled ass to the car because he beat me to the John. And listen, it's not my job to knock on the door. It's up to him. He has
a green handle.
You see a green handle, you pull it.
Yep.
Do you knock on? Have you ever knocked on?
Never.
No.
That's what the green red's for.
That's right. So definitely a rookie move by Brad.
Shout out to the cameraman for capturing that content for
Shout out. Was it kind of weird though? Why did he follow him?
Well, I guess he probably could have thought that maybe he was going to approach another driver or something.
Yeah. But I mean, keeping the camera on him for the entire time he was in the John.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. A little weird.
I don't think you filled out. Did you fill out a March Madness bracket this year?
I didn't fill out a March Madness bracket, but I did fill out an Actions Detrimental bracket. People, you're going to want to see this. It's going to come out on YouTube this week. But I filled out a bracket about my most detrimental moments of my career. Now, we only had an 8-team bracket.
8 teams.
8 teams, right, of different incidents, what I deem the most 8 detrimental things that have happened in my career or to my career or my reputation or whatever it might be. Come to find out when we were filling this out, we needed way more brackets than 8. But tune in. That's going to be coming in later this week. Watch out for that. It will be entertaining for sure.
Should we give people a hint for the bracket so they can go follow your social media at Denny Hamlin and Dirty Mo will run through the seeds of what you seeded each of these incidents.
Yeah, so you guys
remember? Because I'm looking at it over in the corner over there.
No, I mean, I don't want to give away too much for sure, but you guys help put that you put a list on my note here on my phone of what y'all thought were the most detrimental, and then I added to it, and then we kind of narrowed it down from there. And then when I was filling it out, I kind of put the seeds where I thought it was going to be, but there were some upsets. There, as I talked through it and informed people of why I thought they were detrimental, I started to change my mind on what I thought was more detrimental to others. So there were some upsets.
Yeah, we had one. I'm going to go with this one. Actually, no, I'm going with the upset. Nope, I'm going with the...
Yeah, there was some mind changing going on.
Yeah. So for people listening, you can find that later this week on Denny's social media at Denny Hamlin, Dirty Mo's social media at Dirty Mo Media, and then the full video, the full 9 to 10 minute video will be on the Dirty Mo Media YouTube page.